morning. Today is August 27th, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topics are the release of a large-scale COVID-19 antibodies testing and KMT and CCP's one-way ticket. First, I want to talk about the release of a large-scale COVID-19 antibodies testing. Under the attention of the public, the Zhanghua Hematological Antibodies Report was officially announced today at 10 a.m. And the report results are the positive rate is 8.3 per 10,000 people, well, which means that the rate is very low and Taiwan is safe. Well, let me explain the result to you. There were 4,814 people participating in this investigation, including the contactors of the COVID-19 patients, and also we're talking about the people in quarantines. And 4 of them have antibodies. So the positive rate is 8.3 per 10,000, well, which considered to be very low and might be the lowest one in the world. I have something comments for this test. A, the result in change, we're talking about that the unit in charge of this report keeps saying in the beginning that there might be kind of a community infections in Taiwan, well, which cause people's worries, and that is not necessary at all. However, today's report is considered a success and gives everyone a lot of encouragement. B, Zhanghua Director of Health, Ye Yanbo, is a highlight, because he kind of screened asymptomatic, talking about quarantines people without reporting to the CCC, and is under investigation. And Ye Yanbo happened to be one of the major leaders of the large-scale antibody test program. So the whole thing gets complicated. Even these 2 projects are, supposed to be different, but actually they're both conducted by the professor Zhan Changquan from National Taiwan University and Zhanghua Health Bureau, Ye Yanbo. So people wonder whether these 2 projects are related to each other. One of the major controversy is the IRB. IRB is Institutional Review Board, 研究伦理审查委员会. Professor Zhan Changquan said today that he received the IRB on August 11. But the question is, they kind of, started the project in June. So how can they do that in advance? I think it will be another big issue. But good news is that Taiwan is precautionary measures and quarantines are very successful according to the research. Second issue I want to talk about KMT and CCP's one-way ticket. The former President Ma Ying-jeou criticized President Tsai for pushing Taiwan into the brink of war because she did not support the 92 consensus. But 92 consensus is what the China said is one China. Nothing for the 2 interpretation. So what I want to say is that former President Ma, what is the matter with you? It is China's decision to start a war or not Taiwan's. This kind of prerequisite for the cross-trade dialogue between Taiwan and China is that Taiwan has to recognize that Taiwan is a part of China, but we, Taiwanese, cannot accept it. Under these circumstances, how can the cross-trade dialogue be resumed? You know that there is a signed petition to abolish the former President Ma Ying-jeou's former president pension, and that means that we don't have to pay him anymore. At present, up to 26,000 people have signed for it. But I have to tell you the truth, it might not be happening. There is a certain regulations that how you abolish your former president's pension, 卸任元首礼遇, and the former presidents, they have to committed a crime or have to move aboard. But the point is that, I wanted to tell you, former President Ma and President Xi don't threaten the people of Taiwan. Taiwanese are not made of plastic. Here are the top stories. Today we have 0 confirmed cases. First, President Tsai had a very important speech today. President Tsai gave a video speech and answered questions at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute's ASPI annual Indo-Pacific Leaders Dialogue today. And these questions are very crucial. including One China policy and the independence of Taiwan. Well, first question, I wanted to say that they ask, how do you interpret One China policy? And President Tsai said that we are a country with a very vibrant democracy, and the PRC has no jurisdictions over Taiwan. Our citizen enjoys full political rights, and we reject any attempts to downgrade Taiwan. And second question, is Taiwan kind of pursuing independence? Is reunification possible? President Tsai emphasized that. She said, we have our own government, we have free elections, and our people can choose their own leaders. We have our own military, none of which has ever been under Beijing's jurisdiction. The future of Taiwan is to be decided by the people of Taiwan, and this is what we have been insisting. And the third question is about what are the kind of a risk or conflict that would Taiwan expect of Australia. And I want to mention that this is the first time that President Tsai talked about Taiwan-Australia relations. And President Tsai said that we hope that Beijing will continue to exercise restraint and consistent with their kind of obligations as a major regional power. And we hope that Australia also continues to recognize the importance of Taiwan's security in terms of the broader Indo-Pacific region. Well, but at the same time, we know that the tension between U.S. and China seems to rise today. According to Bloomberg, China fired 4 missiles into the South China Sea, and Chinese military fires aircraft carrier killer missiles on August 26 to warn the United States. And we can see that both of the DF-21D and the DF-26 are understood to have warheads with enough maneuverability to hit large aircraft carriers. And the launches were clearly meant to send a message to the United States military and their allies, such as Australia, Japan, and Taiwan. Also, U.S. sent delegation plane near PLA drills in the South China Sea. The RC-135S is the kind of designed to gather data on ballistic missile launches and electronic information, well, which means that the U.S. might believe the PLA was conducting live-fire anti-ship ballistic missile exercise in the South China Sea. On the other hand, talking about the U.S. sanctions on Chinese companies, U.S. Commerce Department added 24 Chinese companies for helping build military islands in the South China Sea. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that since 2013, the PRC has used its state-owned enterprises to dredge and reclaim more than 3,000 acres on disputed features in the South China Sea, destabilizing the region. And talking about China's propaganda invasion to Western countries, textbooks used in Victorian school in Australia, that China kind of listed Taiwan as their territory. Head of the Australian National University's National Security College, Roy McCall, and told The Guardian that, well, it is highly misleading to kind of portray the 9-dash line in an educational textbook as a legitimate map of the China and the region. President Tsai and Audrey Tang have learned international recognition. I wanted to share with you that former Lord Speaker Bernice Du Souza told an interview with the Chinese media and Taiwanese media, and she said that President Tsai is a hero, whether it is dealing with the COVID-19 epidemic prevention or rejecting China's 92 consensus policy. And she said that President Tsai has opened new developments for Taiwan. Also, we talk about Audrey. Well, she is a Taiwan digital minister, and she had an interview with the Indian media, The World is One News. And she said that right before the World Health Assembly, we had our own digital pre-WHA assembly that we share this playbook, also called Taiwan Model. Well, I want to go back to the ASPI annual Indo-Pacific Leaders Dialogue. You know that there's some important question for President Tsai. And the question is, how does Taiwan prepare itself for its more volatile and dangerous period? And the President Tsai just answered, and she said that, first, I would like to continue to uphold 4 principles in terms of cross-strait relations, and that is peace, parity, democracy, and dialogue. And second, increasing our defense budget, updating our defense strategies, including the overall defense concept. And third is strengthen our linkages with the like-minded countries. And that is a very important comment. That will be the view for today. How is your day? I hope everything is fine. This is Catherine. I'll see you tomorrow.